and welcome to day 2 of Unstoppable Africa.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Oswald Guobadia, and I am a policy advisor.
Policy advisor.
Okay.
What kind of things do you do? So I know that in the past you've advised the Nigerian government and you were instrumental in helping to get the startup bill passed in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You're actually one of the architects of that document. So tell us what's happened since then and what you're doing now.
Yeah. So what's happened is basically the Nigerian Startup Act has inspired other countries to create similar type documents to help enable their startup ecosystem. So what I've been working on over the last couple of months is basically innovation and entrepreneurship policies for different governments on the continent. We know the stats, right? So Africa has this many young people. We have these great, fantastic problems that digital solutions can solve. It's about getting them an enabling environment that would help these businesses thrive on the continent. So that's what these documents are about.
Yeah. And so you're working with several governments.
Yeah.
And how many governments have you worked with since Nigeria started?
A
so
few.
that was your calling card, and everyone's like, no, we need you to come to us. So what?
A few. So I'm working with a few DFIs that are working with governments. It's a bit of a sensitive topic to start throwing country names out.
Well.
But a handful in North Africa, in West Africa, and East Africa recently, where we've looked at either the startup policy or we've looked at the innovation and entrepreneurship policy framework for the entire country. In one particular client, the innovation and entrepreneurship policy is driving everything they're going to do digital to try to attract skills to the country, also create the environment for them to thrive in their country and also to help them retain their business in the country.
Yeah. So what brought you to this stage? I mean, what's your background? How did you start out? You didn't start out as a policy advisor.
That's not at all.
What's the kind of trajectory?
It actually sounds really interesting when you say policy advisor. It sounds like, is that real? Is there such a thing?
Is it a real job?
Is it a real job? No, it's not. It's like the guy in Seinfeld. I'm an engineer by profession and by training.
Right.
And I've always built infrastructure on the continent. So either integrating banks or building networks or data centers for organizations. And after my short stint in government, I realized that infrastructure is what we need, but policy is what allows all of it to work.
Right.
So I found myself trying to help develop policy. I actually had a conversation with somebody recently when they said, "Are you a lawyer?" And I said, "No, I'm doing policy from an engineering perspective."
Right. So you're kind of bringing the operations and the know-how of the engineer and marrying it with the kind of like foundation,
the legal language that enables government
yes.
to operate. Yes.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You don't say it in a way that sounds sexy. You should like find a more sexier way to say it.
It's policy. I mean, when you read this, policy is fun. You have to just say it to yourself, right? So it's interesting work because it actually changed lives. It had a very direct impact, right? So the way I describe it to people is, when you think of an idea, right? An idea is a seed. Yeah, and that seed needs to be planted somewhere. And my grandfather's a farmer, so sometimes I think in those terms. And financing, which we always talk about, funding, really acts as irrigation, really acts to water that seed, right? So obviously we need funding.
We're talking about seed capital, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But the soil where that seed is planted is actually the policy, right? Because that actually creates the environment that seed can thrive in. So in any situation where the policymakers don't understand that business, the policy environment will choke out that business. Right. It happens every time.
Right.
So if you just take a look at every single opportunity or every single time you've heard of a ban or a regulation issue, it's a misalignment between what the business is trying to do and what the policy positions are in the country. And policy positions can take the way of legislature, it could be regulations, it could be policy statements, right? So as a business person on the continent, it's important that you, one, know what the policies that guides your business, and two, learn how to influence those policies towards the value you're trying to create.
Okay. So the conversation on everyone's lips is AI.
Oh yeah.
How do we have the infrastructure? Do we have the policies in place to enable AI on the continent?
Yeah. So on one hand, AI is fantastic, but there are about 22 other, if not 20 to 22 other emerging technology areas we have to focus on. When you think of robotics, you think about medical technology, biotech, you think about renewables.